When one of their own ends up turning against them, will Bucky's new ragtag team of crime fighters be able to hold the line? Or is this anti-heroic experiment over before it even started? Well, let's hop into the pages of New Avengers issue number 4 and find out what happens next together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, the team was in Japan dealing with Guru Strange and Professor Extinction. For a second there, it looked like the heroes had actually won the day, but before they could properly celebrate, Namor ended up getting his mind manipulated by Imperious Rex, his diminutive little clone who doesn't seem to be nearly as dead as it first let on. This essentially means that we get one giant Namor focus issue, which is always cool. In his internal monologue, he curses Poseidon of all people. The King of Atlantis talks about how he's never exactly been the praying type and that Poseidon has always made his life difficult from afar, but right here, right now, he could really use the help in not smashing poor Winter Soldier's face into jelly. I mean, Namor has so few friends in the world, so losing an invader buddy would probably be pretty bad. The entire team throws absolutely everything they can at Namor to try and get him under control, but at every turn, his body betrays him, even though his mouth is telling all of them to run as far away as humanly possible. In the end, it's actually the returning Clea who is able to bind Namor using the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak. Now, I actually caught hell in the last issue for saying that Clea decided to not follow Guru Strange and instead stay behind to help the team, even though it was actually the other way around. Though, hilariously, the next issue ended up making me right anyway. Truly being wrong and being right too early are indistinguishable from one another. Clea even makes a little crack to Bucky about how she wasn't exactly sure what she was going to do until she ended up deciding to stand by the team anyway. Sadly, despite Clea's best magical efforts, Namor ends up escaping anyway and flying off to meet the man who is currently manipulating his mind, Imperious Rex, who has undergone one hell of an evolution since last we saw him. As Rex tells it, much like Namor, the man he was cloned from, he contains both human, Atlantean, and mutant DNA. He says that the only reason he came out of the Jackal's tube so shitty is that he wasn't actually done yet, but now he's been trolling the oceans, gaining power, being nurtured by the waves. And now he is finally ready to do what Namor the Submariner could never do, conquer the surface world once and for all as the brand new superior Submariner. Which is just an overly dramatic way of saying he has grown to full-on kaiju kraken size, and is now planning to crush absolutely anyone and anything that's dumb enough to get in his way. This new threat actually ends up putting the team into one hell of a moral conundrum here. They had assembled to try and stop Mr. Ouroboros, the evil clone of Reed Richards, the clearly most dangerous member of the Killuminati, from completely destroying the world as they know it. Do they actually bother to take the time out to rescue Namor and stop Rex? If they were a Thunderbolts team, if they really were anti-heroes, then they probably would do the practical thing. But in the last issue, Banner told Bucky that he thought that him and his team had all the makings of a brand new Avengers squad, meaning that they're real deal heroes now and real deal heroes help their own. This scene is also great for several other reasons. One, I love that Laura has a little Wolverine phone complete with ears, and that it's actually Eddie Brock Carnage who is the first to go, yeah, you know what, let's kill a giant monster, I've always wanted to. And hey, what would a newly minted Avengers team be without a cool Avengers-style entrance? Clea manages to teleport the team via a dark dimension portal, and together they all airdrop onto Imperious Rex. Winter Soldier and Clea do their hardest to try and cleave this thing's many tentacles, only to realize, oh crap, it can actually regrow them as quick as they cut them. Meaning that they're going to have to come up with a new plan of attack, and soon, before it's all too late. Elsewhere, Wolverine, who had been butting heads with Namor pretty much since this series began, takes it upon herself to try and get Namor back to himself. What's interesting is that the King of Atlantis tries to get Laura to kill him in hopes that he won't be a danger to himself or others. But despite actually taking a life in the previous issue, Laura stays strong and resolute that she isn't going to kill Namor. She's going to stay here and help him get his own mind under control, even if it kills her. Now, hey, where's Carnage while all of this is going on? You might be wondering, oh, that's the best part. While everyone else was fighting the monster and keeping it busy, he snuck inside it and decided to take it over from the inside out using his own symbiote, which proves to be exactly what they need to stop the thing long enough for Namor to get his own brain under control and strike back at Imperious Rex with the killing blow. In his internal monologue, Namor talks about how he has fought villains, gods, and monsters, and that he does not fear his own clone. Hell, even his internal monologue moves from dark and dour, cursed cursing of Poseidon to instead actually talking about his love and respect for his own mother. You have always protected me, fought for me, given me strength. And even now you are with me in this day of battle. It's when the fight finally is over. This time the heroes actually do get the chance to celebrate for real. And you know what? It looks like this ragtag crew of antisocial anti-heroes is actually slowly but surely starting to morph into a real Avengers team. Namor goes out of his way to thank Laura for not giving up on him. He even goes out of his way to call her Wolverine for the very first time in the series. Aww. And as far as Eddie goes, well, they just absolutely shower the love and praise on him, saying that he's the team MVP, that he saved the day. Understandably, he's totally over the moon about it, not used to getting this level of acceptance. Unfortunately, inside his own dark mind palace, the Carnage symbiote is already planning which member of the team he's going to kill. Now that Imperious Rex has been dealt with, the team can get back on their main mission of trying to hunt down Mr. Ouroboros before he ends up turning the world inside out. Luckily, Bucky has an old doodad at his place that Iron Man gave him that will allow him to access a satellite array. Him and Natasha also take the opportunity to knock some boots while they're alone. And why, yes, everyone on the team absolutely does know they're an item, and Clea herself also takes this opportunity to mention that her and Steven have more of an open relationship, more of an understanding. So, you know, all those shippers out there go nuts. The team also thinks to themselves, where would they go if they were Reed Richards? And what would they do with that kind of power? Everyone shares their thoughts, while Namor just kind of shares a cheeky little smile. Oh, it's not where he would go, it's who he would do. Man, this book got really horny right at the end, didn't it? And speaking of the end, as the comic comes to a close, we see that Mr. Ouroboros has gotten off to Ecuador, where he has turned a town into the Thing's face. Well, that's certainly one way to experiment with Gamma, isn't it? And so that was New Avengers issue number 4, everybody, and I gotta say, this series under Sam Humphries really has hit its stride here in issue 4. I really appreciate the deliberate pace on this one, not just taking its sweet time in getting the team assembled with all of its different members, but also them even taking time to fully understand what their mission statement was going to be. There's also just a lot of really good drama here, which you love to see in Avengers stories. Will Clea eventually forsake the rest of her team to go after Guru Strange? Will Eddie Carnage turn on the others? Hell, what'll happen when the main Avengers team sees that there's a group of anti-heroes who occasionally kill running around calling themselves the Avengers? Surely that's going to cause some friction, right? But I know I'm definitely excited to see where the series is going to go from here. Overall, I would give it a very positive 8.5 out of 10. I was looking for a good team book, and this one hasn't disappointed yet. Hey there, everyone. It's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers. A lot of cool stuff offering up there. Exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind-the-scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, you know, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.